Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the British Grand Prix weekend here in my Formula 1 2020, my career mode. We've got to finish off our rivalry with Danny Rick this weekend. That should be pretty easy to do. If I have a good qualifying performance, we should ultimately put an end to him there and then. First practice is going to be a little bit interesting because it's apparently raining. So I'm going to fit all the rubbish engine components before I go into free practice. I'm not going to use any of the good stuff because, you know, that would be bad. But it's going to be interesting to see if I can get all the practice programs done in the wet. It will be a little bit interesting. I would prefer not to have wet practice, or wet qualifying, or wet race. You know, I would prefer if it never rained, but we're going to have to deal with it today. So let's have a look, Ski, and see how things go. Max is with his engineer, talking through the practice programs for Red Bull, who, of course, if you've been following the real Formula 1 news this week, have lost their engine supplier because Honda are once again quitting Formula 1. So who knows what is going to happen to Red Bull and AlphaTauri, because they do not have an engine supplier for the coming seasons.
But we should put a bit of time aside to run the qualifying sim program.
I do believe as well, Renault have already come out and said we're not interested in having them back and supplying them after all the rubbish they talked about our engines at the end of our partnership. I believe Mercedes have also come out and said they will not supply Red Bull because they're already supplying 4 teams and don't want to supply anybody else because of the cost involved. So that just leaves the only other engine supplier available to Red Bull is Ferrari. And right now, even Ferrari don't want Ferrari engines because they're that bad. So we'd have to see what happens there. But yeah, free practice one didn't go brilliantly. Like I say, the wet weather, we're not going to be setting any, you know, great times. The most important thing was to get all the practice programs done. I did have to rerun the ERS program in practice 2. I did run it in practice 1, but I didn't purple it. So I ran it again in practice 2 in the dry and was able to purple it. And obviously running my qualifying program in Q2 means that I obviously top the timesheet in Q2 and set the fastest time. But we're not that quick compared to some of the other teams, so I think this weekend's going to be pretty close. I think it's going to be a pretty close race, this. I think other teams have got upgrades,
and with all the cars now over the line,
haven't.
Let's see our top 3 again.
Because we're kind of reaching the point within the Haas team where I can't actually upgrade certain things because we don't have the facilities in place. We need our facilities upgrading first, which apparently the team only do at the end of the year. So I'm kind of locked out from being able to develop some stuff for the car. And also because of the fact that my team still insists on failing every single upgrade that I try to put on the car. So the first time I develop a part, they fail. So then I have to spend twice as many points to get a single upgrade done. And that is just starting now to come back to bite us a bit. Our incapability of producing an upgrade first time of asking is letting the other teams now start to overtake us a bit in the development. So I think maybe my good run of results is coming to an end. my couple of good race victories and stuff like that is starting to come to an end, and I think the rest of the season might now start to be a bit more of a struggle as I head back towards the pack, start to fall down the table a little bit, the race results screen, and try and still get podiums where I can, but I think we're going to start to struggle to get race wins. But anyway, we are going to head into qualifying. Going to make sure I've got all the good bits back on the car. Yeah, everything's good. All the good bits are on. I don't think I'm going to use engine 1 anymore this year. I might start now at this point using engine 2 in free practice a little bit in practice, and then start to use the third components for the races where we need to. But yeah, I'm going to try and develop what we're going to go for. We're going to go for, again, drag reduction is always a good thing. We really do need to get the drag reduction down. But I know for a fact they're going to fail. They're going to fail. That part will fail, and I will then have to spend another bunch of points to redevelop it and get it to pass. So it's definitely slowing us down a bit. And like I say, all these little question marks you can see on the development tree, those are parts we can't actually develop yet, because basically we need the team to upgrade the facilities. We need Gene Haas and Gunther Steiner to invest a bit in the team structure, and you know, the buildings and our operating, because it's going to limit our development. Look, there's a little bit of downforce upgrade we can get, but we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle. But it's going to make the races a little bit closer. It's going to make things a little bit more interesting in the races. I might actually have to do some racing. I'm a bit disappointed as well that the weather for this British Grand Prix is a bit crap. We had the rain in practice 1. Qualifying is overcast and cloudy. Why? Where's the summer sun? You know? Where's the summer sunshine? You know, Silverstone was glorious this year in the UK. Both of the British Grand Prix that we had this season were in fantastic weather. And Cody's can't get that right. Anyway, Q1, flying lap. Let's get a good marker on the board. Now, something I should probably point out at this point, my car setup for this particular Grand Prix, for the first time this season, or the first time in this career mode, I'm running a setup that I downloaded off the Steam Workshop. This isn't me using one of the default setups that I've kind of tweaked myself. This is me just basically downloading a ready-made setup that has been downloaded by thousands of people, so it's supposed to be pretty good, and I'm trying myself, and I have to say, not a big fan of it. It's not giving me quite what I want in terms of the car balance. It seems to lack a little bit of downforce for me in some of the corners. The braking also is not great. I tend to struggle to get the car to slow down a bit. So I'm wondering if it's the usual case that the person that's designed this and developed this car set, and what is Bottas doing? He's blocking me. He's overtaken me and blocked me. So that's compromised my flying lap. Well done, Billy Bottas. I hope you flipping crash in the race, I really do. Because you've been a git. But yeah, going back to the car setup, I think what it is a case of, most of the car setups I see on like the Steam Workshop and stuff and online, everybody tends to do them with using the Mercedes car, which is obviously the best car in the game. It has the best downforce by default, the best speed and all that jazz. So when you make a setup for that car, it's a bit, you know, kind of unbalanced. You then try to apply that setup to any other car, and you're not going to recreate the performance, shall we say. I wish more people, when doing their, you know, amazing car setups and must-download car setups, would do it with like a Williams. So, you know, if they're top of the time trial timesheets with a Williams, you know that setup is pretty good. And then if you take that setup and plug it into a Mercedes or a Red Bull or a Ferrari, you're going to get even better performance out of it. So I think that's the mistake I made. This setup is obviously not designed for a Haas car that I'm running. And I think for the next race in Hungary, I'll go back to just modifying one of the default setups instead.
1:26.2.
But even with Billy Bottas being a bit of an idiot in that session, I did get through to Q2 without having to do another run. So we got 8th place. Even Grosjean has sneaked into Q2. Which is pretty interesting. It's always a bit concerning how close he is to being in the drop zone, to being knocked out. But again, he's not that good of a driver, is he? And again, real life, with everything going on in real Formula 1, I really do hope that Haas change their drivers this year. With Sergio Perez on the market now, you've got to think he's got to be one of the guys Haas want in their car to replace either Grosjean or Magnussen. And then I would go so far as to say they really should get probably Nico Hülkenberg, get him in the other seat. Because Perez and Hülkenberg have got to be a lot better for the team than Grosjean and Magnussen. Oops, there's a mistake. Pushing hard on the mediums, trying to get the tyre strategy done. So I start on the mediums, but again, with this car setup, struggle a little bit on some of these corners to get the car slowed down. And so I've kind of overcooked it there a little bit. I hope that doesn't mean I have to do a run on the softs. I hope I haven't kind of opened myself up to having to do a second run in Q2 just to get in. Bit all over the shop, aren't I? The good thing about this is, though, of course, is that we're able to use maximum engine power and hot lap ERS deployment, which will definitely make us up some time. Even if we do make some mistakes, we will get that time back because, again, the power of the engine, the power unit advantage that we've got running the Ferrari engine in this game. And now, like I say, hot lap and max fuel mode means we're pretty bloody quick in a qualifying trim. As you can see, even with my mistakes on that lap, we managed to get 7th, which is going to be good enough to put us into Q3. Slightly worrying is the fact that Daniel Ricciardo is ahead of me, and I've got to beat Daniel Ricciardo to obviously smash him in the rivalry. So hopefully in Q3 I can turn that around and qualify ahead of him on the soft tyres. Not a lot of guys going for the medium approach to the race, trying to start on the medium compound. Most of the guys seem to have gone out on the soft, but as we know from the real Formula 1, you really want to be on the harder compounds in this race. Right, so now it's time for Q3, and I'm going to do things a little bit different here. I'm not going to go out right away and go for me flying lap. I'm actually going to wait to the end of the session to go out, when hopefully the track is at its absolute best in terms of evolution, to use that term that they throw around on Sky Sports. The track evolution is going to be at its absolute best, with as much rubber on it as possible from all the other guys and teams. So I'm going out fairly late on, just got one shot. If I mess this up, I won't have enough time to do another run. So we've got to get this nailed. You know, there's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the session, so By the time I've done my flying lap and my cool down lap, the session's going to be over. So let's see. A little bit all over the place, a little bit wide. Kept it on the circuit. DRS as well. Boom. Again, that's something you don't kind of appreciate, the fact that you get DRS in qualifying, and yet in the race very rarely do I get DRS. So again, that kind of messes up the results a little bit. It flatters us. It flatters us and our performances, because obviously getting to, I think, you know, I know they've banned like the engine modes and party modes in real Formula 1. What they ought to do as well in qualifying is ban DRS as well. And then people would be doing qualifying times that are more comparable with race times where they don't get DRS, unless they're a second behind the car in front. And again, that would even things up quite a bit.
That's you into P2. You're currently on the front row of the grid.
P2, front row of the grid, Jeff says.
Qualifying complete, let's review our
And
top
Jeff
three
would
today.
be wrong.
Hamilton,
We're not
Bottas,
P2.
and Charles Leclerc.
We are
Well, that wraps up
P4. So
qualifying, but
what
don't worry,
flipping
we'll
race
be
was
back tomorrow as
flipping
we
Jeff
head into the
watching?
Grand Prix.
Jeff, you scumbag. We're P4. But we beat Danny Rick, so rivalry is over. We can celebrate. With 2 races to spare, we've managed to beat Danny Rick. Whole load of acclaim boost for Michael. Everything's going swimmingly. Right
Well
then.
done. Very solid result. You're looking good for the race.
So it's time to head to the race. We're not in a rivalry at the minute, obviously. I assume Claire is going to show up at some point and ask me about another rivalry. I'm sure she's going to get me to talk to, get me to engage in battle with somebody. But we'll see. Probably after the race, I imagine she'll come to me and ask me about a rivalry. She won't do it before the race, because then I could probably pick somebody who's qualified really badly and gain an early advantage.
And the circuit extends that record further.
But it's nice to see the sun shining at last here in Silverstone. Going to be a nice race today.
Miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula 1 faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase, and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's start by getting your take on Romain Grosjean. There's a new gearbox in the back of that car, which means a grid penalty, and hopefully some excitement as they make their way through the field.
Fingers crossed that's one failure they won't have to worry about today, at least. There's not much of a silver lining to starting down the field with a penalty, but I think they'll be able to make some of that back up over the course of the race.
So Grosjean's changed his gearbox and took a penalty. Well done, Romain.
Lewis Hamilton lines up
on all the things, of all the times to do that.
Completes the front row. Looking
All
down the
the
rest of the
times
grid, we
to
have
do that.
Leclerc, Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel, and Ricciardo, Sainz, Perez, Giovinazzi, and Max Verstappen, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, and Grosjean, Stroll, Ocon, Alexander Albon, and Lando Norris, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on
Things
top
are getting
today?
a little bit spicy in the championship
After the
and
points
constructors
finish last
table,
race,
and
let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Grosjean getting grid penalties for changing gearboxes is not going to be helping our constructors championship positions. if he fails to finish in the points. Anyway, we need a good start here because we're obviously on the second row. And there's a good start again. I'll tell you what, I am absolutely beast mode off the start.
No overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form
before we even get to the first corner, we have a safety car, everybody.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your
We
pace
have a
immediately.
safety car, everybody. Oh no. Oh, god damn it. Press the wrong button. Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. I meant to press the button to turn my engine mode down, and instead I've activated the flashback instant replay thing. It's because the buttons are so close together on my wheel, and I was trying not to take my eyes off the track. And unfortunately, I haven't played enough Formula 1 recently that I've got the muscle memory of where the buttons are, so I've pressed the wrong button. My bad. Apologies. Everybody's still crashed and out the race though, so... We've not, changed anything there. I probably need to look at rebinding some of the buttons on my controller, on my steering wheel. I think what I'm planning to do is make my fuel mode, the increase and decrease of engine mode, I'm thinking of putting that on the directional pad, on the D-pad on the wheel, which will obviously be much easier for me to control when I'm racing. And then the scrolling up and down of the MFD, I'm thinking I'm going to put on the plus and minus button on the wheel, which is down at the bottom of the wheel near the select and start button, which is why I go wrong, because when I go to press the minus button to lower my engine mode, I sometimes accidentally press the select key, which is for the instant replay flashback type thing.
Okay, slow down.
It would be
Your
much
delta is
easier for me
negative, which
to
means you are
then
too
be able to
fast.
change fuel
Reduce your
mode
pace.
in the race if it's on the D-pad. That would be better. I need to consider that. But again, safety car in a race. Again, our season's been plagued by safety cars. We've had events at every single race. We've had incidents at every race. So, there it is.
Safety car now. Do not pass
Nearly
it.
overtook
You are the
it.
leader. Follow the safety car.
Nearly overtook him because he's just loitering off the racing line. Go, folks. This, of course, doesn't help my medium tyres because we're going to be losing tyre temp. And of course, at the start of the race, I did take like an extra, what was it, 3.5 laps of fuel. What did I can't remember now. I know I took an extra half a lap than I normally would of fuel. Sure, it was 2.5 laps of extra fuel I put on board, so I'm quite heavy, and especially compared to, as I say, the Mercedes behind me, which, as I've said in previous videos, the Mercedes cars are all start the season 32 kilos lighter than the Haas. Before they've done any weight reduction upgrades or anything like that, they're already 32 kilos lighter than me, which is a lot. And then I'm putting in, an extra 2.5 laps of fuel or 3.5 laps of fuel. It's no wonder they're always on my ass at the start of a race, while they're swarming all over me. Come on, safety car. How much longer are you going to be out? I'll have a look at the end of the race. I'll go back and have a look at the replay at the end of the race to see what happened at turn 1 to bring this guy out. because certainly on this occasion I can hold my hands up and say it wasn't me, because I was well through turn 1 and I'd got such a good start that none of the other cars behind me were near me heading into and through turn 1, so it's not like someone hit the back of me or something, which is usually what happens. So there must have been an incident further down the field, and to lose like Gasly, Kvyat, and was it Kimi Raikkonen? I reckon there's been a bit of a shunt into the first corner, with too many guys not giving way.
Approaching the safety car, you're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car. Okay, the safety car is coming in this lap.
Right, safety car's coming in.
The field in sector
We're
3.
de facto
Make sure
race
to
leader.
respect the delta
You're
until
like
the
de
safety
facto
car is in the
safety
pit
car.
lane.
So what I'm going to try and do is keep everybody, you know, nice and steady, and then I'm just going to floor it out the last corner on the bend into the start and finish straight, and just basically catch everybody out. Nice and slow through here. And now gun it. Rich mix and overtake enabled.
Okay, clear.
Let's go for it.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap.
And away we go. Still in the lead. But again, that's where I get a little bit caught out, because I run a little bit deep. A little bit of contact there with Hamilton, but not enough to cause a puncture to me or front wing damage to him, although Billy Bottas seems to have got the run on him. We'll see. I'll tell you what, too wide through there was brave, boys. Kind of more watching the rearview mirror at this point. See the two Mercedes squabbling. And Bottas has got it. He's got the move done on Hamilton. Now Hamilton's under pressure from Leclerc. And Vettel's there as well, ready to pounce. I've run out of DRS at this point. Or I've used too much. So I'm a bit of a sitting duck. Bottas has done the fastest lap of the race. Billy Bottas, the man who was a bit naughty in qualifying. Grosjean is out of the race. I've just seen that flash up. Roman. He's not helping me as a teammate. He's not providing
Roman's
rear
out of the
gunning.
running. He's stopped the car.
He's not being a rear gunner for me, is he? I had to slow down there because I was understeering terribly. That's given Bottas a massive charge at me.
Yellow flag.
Oh, whoa, Bottas is pushing me.
Virtual
Sick
safety
drift,
car,
bro.
Virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a
Bottas
positive
kind of
delta.
spun me and then was pushing me sideways, and then I actually managed to recover from that And Bottas is out of the race. What a surprise.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
And we've got a VSC because Billy Bottas is out of the race. So, you know what, Billy Bottas? That's twice now this weekend you've messed me up. You deserve to be out of the race. You know, he deserves it. He was a dick in qualifying. He's been a dick in the race because he definitely tried to spin me, pit manoeuvre me.
Maintain your pace until the green flag.
Because I was going, he was literally pushing me sideways down the track there at one point. So I can't believe I haven't suffered any damage from that. But I've got Lulu now chasing me. Ferraris are all over me as well. In fact, the Ferraris have actually managed to kind of muscle past Hamilton. After the VSC, the Ferraris are definitely feeling a bit competitive. I don't like the virtual safety car. I feel the virtual safety car, I lose too much in a virtual safety car because these guys are all way closer to me after a VSC than they were before. Before the virtual safety car, they were quite a bit behind me. Then all of a sudden, we go green and they're right on my wing. So I seem to lose out in a VSC. I much prefer a safety car because obviously on a safety car restart, I can get the jump
virtual
on them.
Safety car deployed. Slow down and maintain a positive delta.
Another virtual safety car.
Is deployed.
Virtual safety car number 2. Why does everybody keep crashing? I'm trying to get away here and you keep neutralising the race. Why is everybody behind crashing and falling out and squabbling?
VSC ending, we're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags.
Show some professionalism. And again, I feel like the Ferraris have got the benefit of the VSC by being able to close up behind me. They must be speeding under the VSC. Because I keep being told I have to slow down, and yet they're able to close up on me. And Leclerc's got past me.
We're running an excess of fuel. We can turn up the engine to mix mode 3 if you need it. Turn fuel to rich.
I tell you what, these virtual safety cars are not helping me out in this race. No, I got track limits there. I got a warning for track limits. Whoa, I'm struggling. I'm going to have to use rich mix. I was hoping to be running more standard mix at this point, 8 laps into the race, and saving me rich mix for the end of the race. But it looks like
the virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast.
Yeah,
reduce your
look
pace.
in the mirror. How fast did those guys close up on me through that section? They shouldn't be able to gain on me in a virtual safety car. The safety car should keep them the same distance behind me. Yeah, look at them, right on the rear wing. Massive train of cars behind me. I definitely get penalised by a virtual safety car.
A new strategy
because
is available
this
on the
driving
MFD.
to a Delta business is a load of crap.
Okay, copy that.
I would much sooner than just throw a real safety car if they're
Virtual
going
safety
to.
car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green. Okay, clear.
Vettel's trying to go past Hamilton. And Hamilton's still got it. He's held on to the inside line. They're swapping pace backwards and forwards. I'd imagine down the straight Lewis will have him on the pace.
Battery
And maybe
charge is
through the
high.
corner.
Let's use that overtake button more.
No, Vettel's actually got the overtake done. So now I've got the second Ferrari hunting me down. Leclerc's getting away. I've lost track of Leclerc. I've lost tabs on him. It's not good.
VSC deployed. The virtual safety car has been deployed.
Flipping again.
We need to keep a positive delta here. Slow down. Maintain a positive delta.
We spend more time running under virtual safety cars than we have actually racing in this race. Come on. Don't know what everyone's doing behind me, but flipping get a grip. Get a grip,
Drop
folks.
your speed. Our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. VSC ending. We're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags. Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag.
Oh, that's going to be
ending. Wait for green.
I thought that would have they'd have given me a warning for that, because that was definitely track limits. That was definitely track limits. Again, missed that got completely wrong in that corner. Again, too deep into that one. Yeah, this car setup, I don't like it. It's not giving me what I want.
Beginning to pull away.
Not enough downforce. Not enough braking force. And it's a little bit too understeering. I think I'm going to stick to doing my own setups in future races. That was all over me. Lewis has got a run on him. Vettel's on the outside. Close the door. Lewis probably has DRS down here. Lewis is going to go for a late break. Danny Rick, send it. Anna's got the overtake done. Well done, Lewis. Okay, Vettel's pitting along with Ricciardo. That's an early pit stop for them boys. Oh, Lewis has just dropped it. Lewis has just dropped the car. Lewis has spun out of that corner. I just saw him in me rearview mirror. Oh, bad luck, Lewis. Just lost the rear end of the car coming out of the corner. Maybe got on the power too early. And just did a donut. That's put a bit of a gap between the cars now and behind and us. I'm just looking at Leclerc now. So if Vettel's pitted, then Leclerc's got to be due a pit stop pretty soon. So I'm due to pit on lap 15, but I'm going to respond to whatever Leclerc does. If Leclerc pits, I'm going to do one lap with the motor turned up to 11, ERS fully engaged, and try to then do the overcut basically. If, however, I get to lap 15 when I'm due to stop, and he still hasn't, then I guess we're going to have to try and go for an undercut. Because I'm going to want to get onto the soft tyres. That's my strategy. Most of these guys are going to go to hard tyres. I'm going to go to soft, which should give me a pace advantage at the end of the race over everybody. Hamilton's got back up to 5th. after his little spinner-rooney. Verstappen is up into 4th place. Behind Albon. So I wonder if Red Bull will do any team orders at any time to swap those guys round.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the
Albon's
softs.
pit, so that saved Red Bull having to do any team orders on the radio, because Albon's actually pitted out of Verstappen's way. And Verstappen's actually running the hard, so I imagine he's running a little bit longer into this race than everybody else. So he's going to be stopping a lot later, I think. Lap 13 coming to an end. About to start lap 14.
The car in front is a second a lap faster. 1 second.
Really? Has Leclerc really got that much pace? Surprises me if he's that much faster on this circuit. A second a lap would be very noticeable. Yeah, he's about 3.5 seconds ahead, but that seems to be about it. Not really pulling out a massive gap, but it is increasing lap on lap.
No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
He's starting to get to that stage now where he is out of sight. I can't see him. So he's starting to, he's pulling out of visual range, which is bad for me. What's going on? He's not boxed. That's quite surprising because Vettel boxed a few laps ago. I'm surprised. Normally I'd expect teammates to come in on the next lap.
Pit this lap, so push now.
I'm a bit surprised by Leclerc. Or it's either that or Vettel stopped a lot earlier than he was supposed to. So Leclerc's boxed, so I'm actually going to carry on then. I'm going to go and try and overcut him. That's my plan. Verstappen as well is only 3 seconds behind me, so Verstappen's doing very well. So I'm a bit concerned about him. When is he going to pit? When is he going to pit? At least we set a nice purple first sector, so this fast lap is definitely fast. Although I do tend to be quite slow through this second sector. I don't think I go purple in the second sector ever. But we'll see. Mainly because I don't know how to really tackle this part of the circuit as far as braking. I think I lose too much speed through there.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
But I managed to do a personal best. Green sector, so that's okay. We are pitting. So Verstappen's going to take the lead. He's going to have quite a lead when I come out the pit. So when is he going to box? Because at this rate, he could be like 20 odd seconds up the road.
Go now.
I think even Vettel's going to get the jump on me, isn't he? Vettel's just gone purple. Fastest lap.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for
Yeah,
dangerous
there's
driving if you
Vettel.
cross over into the
Vettel's
track.
managed to do me in the pit stop then. And Verstappen's 23 seconds, 24 seconds up the road. Oh my god.
We're at +1 lap of extra fuel. Fuel target
But we're in
+1.
front of Leclerc. So, we did manage to get ahead of Leclerc. But we've now got Vettel and Verstappen in front of us. Is Vettel going to have to stop again? Because he pitted very early in the race. And surely Verstappen hasn't stopped yet. If he's on the hards. He hasn't done his one stop. So it looks like I'm racing Vettel at this point. I'm not going to... we can forget about Verstappen because he's not pitted. But Vettel's the man. We need to kind of chase after him. He's on the mediums and I'm on the soft, so I've got a little bit of a pace advantage. It's not as much as if he was on the hards. If he was on the hard tyres, I'd have a much better advantage over him.
1.8 seconds. Okay, the gap behind is
So
1.7
did Vettel
seconds.
start the race on the soft tyres then? Because I would have doubted, if he'd have started on mediums, he wouldn't have boxed for another set of mediums. Because then he's definitely got to stop again. Because he hasn't run a different compound. So Vettel must have started on the soft tyres and Leclerc must have started on the mediums. Okay, that would explain then why Vettel pitted so much earlier than Leclerc. And why Leclerc didn't box like the next lap. Because they were actually on different strategies. Okay. Let's see if we can catch... Come on. Gotta get up onto Vettel. I'm going to be trying to do the same things I did in the Austrian Grand Prix. Rich mix ERS to give me a boost on the straights. And pray that gives me a speed advantage over Vettel, who maybe won't have the choice of engine mode, being able to use a richer fuel mix. for me to be running on soft tyres though. I think the game actually wanted me to do mediums to hards, but I think that was the second strategy it offered me. But I figured mediums to soft would be quicker. I'd have the outright pace advantage. But maybe the hard tyre boys are not suffering from any problems because of the fact that it is sunny today. The weather's warmer, the air temperature's warmer, the track is warmer, so therefore their hard tyres are warmer. If it had been the same conditions as qualifying with overcast and cloudy, they probably would have been struggling for heat in their tyres, which would have given me the advantage on softs, because obviously I would be able to warm the soft tyres up. There's a chance if I really lean on this, I'm actually going to overheat my tyres in these conditions, which is one of the reasons why I might not be getting the drive and the cornering performance that I kind of want.
The gap to the car ahead is 3.1 seconds.
3.1 seconds. Ooh. Yeah, I'm struggling. I'm not catching him. That's a bit concerning. Now I'm exceeding track limits. I've got to watch that because that's my second, and if I do any more they're probably going to penalise me with a 3-second penalty or something, so need to make sure I'm racing clean. And worryingly, Leclerc is catching me. So, in a minute, I'm going to have to change focus a bit. I'm not going to be worrying about Vettel. I'm going to be worrying about trying to keep Leclerc behind me and hanging on to this third position. Podium. Because Max is still in the lead on lap 21. 21 seconds ahead. Surely he has not pitted. Surely he hasn't pitted. He's got to pit at some point. Definitely. He won't be allowed to do the whole race without changing tyres. But is he going to come in like lap 24 or lap 25 and then go out and do the last lap on the softs or something? I mean, that's a risky freaking strategy from Red Bull if that's the case. If he's able to keep them hard tyres going that long,
Gap to car in front is 2.2 seconds.
now I am closing in on Vettel now. That's
The car
good.
behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap.
That's even that better. That's what I like to hear. Car behind is dropping back. Gap to car in front is getting smaller. That's what I want. Getting a little bit sloppy.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
It's through this section. This section's where I lose time to the cars ahead of me. I'm not as quick as them through here. The car isn't planted, and I'm a bit confused as to when I'm supposed to slow down, and then I end up completely out of shape for that corner and lose way too much speed. when I did the race in obviously F2, it was a different story because all our cars sucked. So it wasn't as noticeable there. But the cars that definitely are planted and have the aero and the downforce and that here definitely take that second section on this circuit way better than me. My car's a bit of a brick, unfortunately. The clerk's coming. He's behind me. Clerk's behind me. That 23. Verstappen, Vettel, Schumacher is still the order. But Verstappen's got to pit. He has to pit. They're going to do it on the last lap because that seems like it would be unfair if he finishes the race in the pit lane. Although, to be fair, Michael Schumacher did that one year at Silverstone. He served a penalty, didn't he? Stop-go penalty on the final lap in the pits.
We're catching the car ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last till the end of the race.
Oh, they will, Jeff. These tyres will last the end of the race because I'm the man controlling them. I'm very good at tyre wear. It's probably the best.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Besides race starts, which I'm an absolute beast at, tyre wear and tyre management is something I am also very flipping good at. So yeah, I will definitely get these tyres to the end of the race, Jeff. Don't you worry about that. I think I lose too much speed there.
No need to worry about tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Yeah, I know, Jeff. No, the tyres are perfect. Let's hope Vettel's tyres are falling off the cliff a bit if he boxed for those mediums as early as he did.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
Maybe. I still think I've got enough to run Rich to the end, honestly, but we'll vary it a little bit. We'll conserve fuel on parts of the track where I feel we can afford to conserve. Schumacher's actually pulled out a gap to me again now, so he's actually going faster. I was bringing the gap down and now he's extended it again over the last couple of laps, so he's probably turned his motor up a bit too.
This is your final lap of the race.
Final lap of the race, yeah. And Verstappen is still in the lead by 21 seconds. He can't come in on the last lap for a pit stop. He can't, because this new Silverstone layout, he will have crossed the start and finish line before he's got to his pit box. So he'll have technically have finished the race without pitting. tell you what, Leclerc's flipping all brave. Is he going to try and take third place from me? Come on. We've got to keep that Ferrari behind us. Come on, Michael. Keep fighting, Michael. Keep fighting. Clerk's out of the race. He didn't seriously try to go down the inside of me into that corner, did he? He did. That's never going to work for you, Charles. That gap is only ever going to disappear. I've got the racing line. I'm in front. I'm going to take... Yeah, that's Leclerc's impatience has actually cost him there. Because that's it did not finish. He's lost championship points. Why would he stick his nose into a gap that's getting smaller?
Good job.
I'm just pleased he didn't take me out as well. But yeah, third place. So the other teams have definitely stepped up their car performance for this race. They've got upgrades. They've had upgrades come through. But I am confused with Red Bull and Verstappen.
That sealed the win for them?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly
he didn't pit
what would have
in the
happened
race,
it,
did he?
But there's no
He
question
can't have
that they
done.
came out of that situation in a good position.
He started on hard, he's gone all the way to the end, and he's not pitted because he finished a pit stop in front of us.
They performed exceptionally today,
So,
keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the
Max
team.
has confused me there. I demand a steward's inquiry. Can we report this to the stewards, please, and the race director? Red Bull did not stop in the race. Max did not change tyres. They've cheated.
Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed.
One
Schumacher
stop.
increases their
Eh?
championship lead. So, Anthony Davidson,
When
who
did
would you
Max
rank
make
as
a
your
pit stop
driver of the
then?
day?
I'm
It's an interesting one
confused.
today. On balance, I think I have to call out Alexander Albon, a really solid driver.
He made
today,
one
that he
pit
and his
stop
team
and was
should be
still
proud of.
20 seconds
Let's
ahead
move
of
on to the
everybody.
constructors.
How
The lead
is
at the
that
top
possible?
Comes down after a strong weekend from the
I'm
challenging
calling
pack.
hacks
Meanwhile,
there.
a strong weekend from Red
I'm
Bull
calling
this time out,
hacks.
and
That
they
is,
improve their
there's some
position
kind
in the
of
championship.
cheating
And with
glitch
that, we
bug
wrap
thing
up
going on
another
there.
weekend of motorsport. But
'Cause
with
I
more
don't
races
recall
lined
Max
up,
pitting.
Be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
I don't get that. I don't understand that. I'm confused. Drivers. He went from soft to hard. Okay, everybody crashed out at the beginning. Verstappen even got a 5-second penalty for crashing with Kvyat. Okay. Pit stops. Max stopped on lap 3. Apparently. That was when the safety car was out. Hang on a minute. Did Max come in whilst the safety car was out, serve a 5-second penalty, fit the hard tyres, gain right back up to the pack, and then basically just make his way to the front by the fact everybody else then had to stop during race conditions? And all the virtual safety cars we had at the start would have made life interesting for him, because he would have been able to recover his pit stops. That's a bit confusing to me. Here's Kvyat. Okay, so that's what happened there then. Verstappen in the Red Bull got jumped by Kvyat, and then basically Verstappen's just gone steaming to the inside. He's hit Kvyat, who's spun and taken out the Alfa Romeo and his own teammate Pierre Gasly. Gasly's had a ghastly race again for AlphaTauri. He's got took out by his own teammate, and to be fair to Gasly, he was minding his own business, I think, pretty much. So I'm now even more confused by Verstappen, because Verstappen's caused a crash that's took out 3 cars and has been able to go on and win the race. Because he's pitted under the safety car, served a time penalty, made his way back to the pack, and then been able to come through the pack. Yeah, poor old Pierre Gasly, minding his own business. He goes down the outside, he's on the outside minding his own business. He's past the Alpha, but Verstappen shunts Kvyat, who shunts Raikkonen, who then shunts Gasly. So yeah, that's the end of that race. That is very sneaky by Red Bull.
Let's have your thoughts.
To pit under the safety car, serve a penalty under the safety car. That's not allowed. Right, we're going to pick Charles Leclerc as our rival. Makes sense, seeing as we've just had argy-bargy contact with him.
Everyone's expectations, isn't it? Interesting result today. Would you say that you're happy with your performance?
Well, things could have gone better. We could have definitely gone better.
What exactly was it you weren't happy about?
We seem to lack downforce. We've got a bit of development to do in that area.
Great. Well, that's everything.
I don't really want to pick on the chassis department at the moment, because they are kind of ahead a little bit in the upgrade stakes. But I certainly don't want to pick on the durability department, because they've actually done all their upgrades that I've asked of them so far. However, their morale is already low though, and I don't understand that, because I've not asked them to do any upgrades recently. And again, as we've just seen, we've had a part fail, the R&D tree. In the chassis department, energy store cells positioning failed development, so we need to redevelop that. We're wasting so much points as a team. Team, come on. We need to be upgrading the facilities, because our quality control is diabolical. Every single thing I develop fails first time of asking. So I'm having to spend double the points to make one upgrade. We could be so much further along if you didn't keep fucking messing up the points. Messing up the parts team. Right, we're going to Hungary next. Bit of a slow track. Lots of corners, so I probably want to be going balanced on the tyre strategy. I don't really want to go soft.
I know we were expecting some new developments
in case I do need to do some strategy stuff.
Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the R&D screen.
Has something else failed? I hope not. We don't have time for anything else to fail. No, everything else is looking good. We've got that energy cells repositioning thing. That's actually done now. They've actually completed that, but I don't have enough points to start the major upgrade. That major upgrade is the next thing I want. Same as in the aero department when we get down there. There's a couple of major front wing and rear wing downforce upgrades that I would like to get on the car. I would also like to get the Energy Store and MG UK durability upgrades done as well at some point, but we're going to have to check on things and see. Also, we've got to be careful as we get into this back half of the season that the FIA don't come out and do a rules reset or something and nerf one of our upgrade paths. Hopefully they won't do that first year, but you never know. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to tune in next week for the next race in the series.